Hi, my name is Djordje Stojiljkovic and I had the privilege of working as a director of photography on Kalki 2898 AD. Honestly, this project really pushed my creative boundaries in ways I hadn't expected. It allowed me to dive into new techniques and really experiment with different approaches to lighting. I'm truly grateful to Vajanti Movies for choosing me to be the part of this incredible journey and for all the trust. Working in India with its rich cinematic history and incredible, very dedicated and hard-working crew was just an amazing experience. It gave me a chance to mix my style with the vibrant energy that Indian cinema is so well known for. When you're working on something as big as Kalki, where sci-fi and mythology come together, lighting becomes so much more than just illuminating the scene. It's all about setting the mood, building the atmosphere, and making sure the visuals support the story in the best possible way. I remember from the first conversations with director Nag Ashwin, it was clear we'd need a whole range of lighting effects. This included everything from pulsing lights and lightning storms to fire effects, explosions, and other dynamic lighting changes. So, together with my gaffer Zoran Pechenkovic, we carefully selected the right tools to handle those needs, making sure we could deliver the look that worked across all these different environments. We were shooting everything from futuristic cityscapes and high-tech labs to epic battles, beautiful Italian landscapes, intense vehicle chases and heroic fights. Each setting felt like its own world and it really needed a different lighting approach. We shot the entire movie on the RLX 65 camera with DNA lenses, which added an incredible depth and richness to every shot. This setup gave us a special look and feel that really brought out the details and atmosphere, helping to set the right mood for each scene. And of course, beyond the camera and lenses, lighting was my main tool for bringing these worlds to life. That's where Nanlux and Nanlite products became essential. Their flexibility really allowed us to shape the light exactly how we needed for each scene. We could control intensity, color temperature, and effects easily through a DMX console, which was a really great help. For the smaller sets, we used the Nanlink app, which made it so much easier to make quick adjustments without dragging around heavy equipment. For many scenes in the movie, I went for hard sunlight as a backlight, often placing the light fixture directly in the frame as a practical light source. Honestly, the Nanlux Evoke 2400B was perfect for that. What didn't surprise me was how well we could control the lights, especially since I've been using Nanlux products for years now. The ability to dial it down to 1 or even 0.1 intensity was incredibly helpful. Flares can either enhance a shot or completely take over, so having that level of control allowed us to keep it balanced and artistic without overpowering the frame. The ability to precisely adjust the intensity of such a powerful light was crucial, as it meant we didn't need to wait for additional ND filters or to reduce the intensity in other ways. It was done instantly on set. When we needed to recreate daytime looks for night shoots, replicate daylight on set, or when we wanted to create a subtle moonlight effect, the Nanlux Dino series became our go-to solution. Zoran, along with my junior gaffer Nishant Katari and their team, built different kind of soft boxes using the Dino series. These soft boxes provided beautiful sky fill light and gave us complete control over the lighting. For one of the scenes, we had to recreate a forest on stage. We used two Evoke 2400Bs alongside two Dinolight 12 kV fixtures as our side sunlight. I was really impressed by how well the Evokes held up next to the 12 kV Dinolights. These Evokes could be plugged into regular electricity while the Dinolights needed a big generator, which made a huge difference in terms of logistics. For the sky fill, we used our usual Dino setup, which helped soften the contrast and create a more natural daytime atmosphere. For the Bunny's room, we had to shoot on a real location, and it was a college building which came with many challenges. It was a pretty bright space with white walls, and we couldn't make any kind of significant changes, like painting, darkening or aging the walls, which we really needed in that moment. So my idea was to create a strong key light to shape the atmosphere for the scene. I used a strong shaft of light coming from a top window to get the contrast I needed. We used 6 Evokes 1200 to achieve this effect, and also some dynos and power tubes for fill light at the ground level. For the night at the same location, we used many Forza 60C for the display cases together with some Parkans 64, and our key light was Dyno 1200 on the boom arm with honeycomb. The idea was to use stronger intensity so we can isolate the character from the bright environment. We needed the effect of voltage drop, and for that moment all the lights were controlled by the DMX, and it was pretty easy to set the effects we planned. Combining the classic fixtures like the Dynolights 12 kV, RE 24 kV tungsten and HMIs with the flexibility of the Evokes, dynos, and the rest of the Nanlux and Nanlite products gave us a ton of creative options on set. Since we didn't have a huge number of Evokes in one place, those traditional powerhouses like the Dynolights and HMIs really stepped in to give us the strength we needed for those big exterior shots. For these large-scale shots, we still relied on the raw power of the traditional fixtures to achieve the photography we were aiming for. Next time, maybe we'll get lucky and have, I don't know, 30-40 Evokes lined up in the row. For now, I'll just keep it on the wish list. Nanlux came with a variety of effects, so there were plenty of moments when the director Nagi or I would come up with a last-minute idea, like adding an extra effect we hadn't even planned. With these fixtures, we could make it happen right there and then. That kind of flexibility really made a difference for us on set. During the scene where the complex is attacking Shambhala, we had a shot where the villains are positioned right in front of the main Shambhala gates. The director wanted to create an effect of the gates melting, as if the villains were using a laser or some advanced weapon. To achieve this on set, we mounted several dynos on a small hydro crane to simulate the effect, creating a strong visual interaction for the VFX team to build on in post-production. Additionally, we mounted many dynos on larger cranes to serve as a moon fill light, helping us to illuminate the vast space effectively. We also used 2 dynos 1200s at the top of the stairs to support practical fires. On the ground level and around the set at higher angles, we placed several more dynos to create additional fire effects. We played extensively with fire effects, using the dynos to create realistic lighting that enhanced the atmosphere. Also, our dyno box played a crucial role, making the mothership explosion interacting perfectly with the explosion we created later in VFX. To light the city of Kashi, we also used a combination of Evokes, dynos, along with plenty of Nanlite power tubes and Forzas for added versatility. For some light effects, we turned to the Evoke 2400B, but during daytime shoots, we needed something a bit more intense. So we went with 6 Dynolights, each at 12 kV. Hopefully, next time we'll swap this setup for some brand new Evokes 5000 once it's out. For the scenes of Bhairava driving the bougie, we had to shoot on a blue screen and create a convincing interaction with the environment they were supposed to be driving through. To achieve this, we used a variety of lighting effects, primarily from the Dyno series, to simulate the changing lighting conditions and enhance the realism of the scene. A great feature of these lights is that they have a dust and water-resistant IP standard, so we could use them without any special coverage, even in challenging conditions. It made our job much easier and we didn't have to worry about the lights during the shoot, rain or dust environment. When filming the Kuru battle scene, we used dynos and evokes to create effects like fires and explosions, giving us the dynamic lighting needed for those intense moments. For the sunlight in the wider shots, we relied on a combination of Dinolights and RE24 kV light, which is also a fantastic light fixture. Additionally, I used the Evoke 2400B for sunlight in slightly tighter setups, such as focusing on individual characters where it provided just the right intensity and flexibility. Mixing these different brands allowed us to achieve the right balance and make the scene feel as epic as possible. Wherever we could and it was safe, we used real fire to achieve the most realistic effect. In Yaskin's room, we used evokes to create the well-known water reflection effect by bouncing light off the practical water on stage. Our key lights were dynos positioned behind the circular window and above the pool area. Our talented friends from the art department helped create a diffused element above the set, which interacted seamlessly with the VFX chandelier-like element, in which we put several dynos 650C, enhancing the overall atmosphere of the scene. For this huge party scene, we had two long cranes loaded up with Dyno 1200s and 650C, and then we had several more on Hydra cranes around the set. Also, we attached a few Roto stage lights, so we can get a nice party mood. We also hid a bunch of Nanlite Forza 60C all over to light up little details here and there. The top lights on the cranes were a mix of moonlight and fire effects, which gave us a real nice dynamic ambience. The fight between Ashwatthama and Bhairava and Desert Chase took quite a long time to shoot, and we used several different approaches depending on the shot range and the complexity of the scene. Since most of it was set in kind of desert environment, we always needed the harsh sunlight. To achieve that, we combined an RE24kV, Dinolights and Evoke 2400B with additional support from our dyno setup for fill light, or sometimes using plenty of 6kV space lights and RE-Sky panels. At one point, I remember we had over 1 megawatt of lights running, with 5 generators supplying the power. I'm sure we could have powered the small town with all that light. In my opinion, to shoot a movie like this, it's crucial to have experience in visual effects. You need to understand how the lighting interacts with the VFX that will be applied later. Otherwise, it simply won't work. To achieve these interactions, you also need the right tools, light fixtures that provide the necessary flexibility, power, and, of course, effects. I found exactly that in the Nanlux and Nanlite range of products. At the end, you need a very creative and dedicated crew like the one I had there. Indian people are incredibly warm, friendly and full of positivity, making every day on set an unforgettable experience.
Look at him, no!
Celebrating Holi with our crew, fully covered in vibrant colors, created some of the most memorable moments. It brought a unique spirit to the shoot and made working on Kalki truly different from many other projects I've done before. The movie had its grand premiere on 27th of June, and I had the privilege of attending. The warmth and enthusiasm of the Indian audience were overwhelming, and I was deeply moved by the passion and love they showed up for the film. It was one of those rare moments in career when you realize the impact of your work on such a vast audience. What is more, I had the amazing opportunity to sit in Djordje and try driving it in front of the cinema. This project felt like a fresh new direction for Indian cinema, and with Nag Ashwin's visionary approach, we were able to push the boundaries of how mythology and sci-fi could blend together, inspiring me to explore unique lighting techniques to match his ambitious storytelling. The hospitality and the warmth of the people of India left a deep impression on me, and I'm truly grateful for the memories I made that day. That was a day I will definitely remember for the rest of my life.